Hello everyone, my name is Shashank. I'm in college at this time and I'm interested in researches. I have changed the Einstein's relativity by changing his fabric. I changed his fabric and assumed some quality of that fabric to explain the to explain why the universe is expanding, to explain why we are experiencing more gravity at uh, at the level of galaxies, means we are experiencing more velocity. The solar systems and the material is moving with more velocity toward the center of the galaxies, and scientists are unable to explain that why this extra force is acting on the planets toward the center of the gravity when that much mass is not present in galaxy. So they are feeling the lack of mass. Because of that, they explained the presence of dark matter. That matter has high gravity, and that matter is accelerating the planets, the solar systems toward the center of the galaxies. So scientists explain dark matter in this way. Besides it, they don't know anything about dark matter. Then, because the universe is expanding, they explained anti-gravity, and they told that it is due to the dark energy. The fabric that I used to explain relativity can explain why universe is expanding, and can also explain why all the planets and solar systems are moving toward the galactic centers with higher velocity. So without using the concepts of dark matter and dark energy, I can explain both the things in the correct way. And I can even explain why the small world, I mean why the quantum world is different from the big world, means why relativity and quantum theory are different. And this thing is also explained by using the new kind of fabric that I am using. Yes, I know very well that that fabric is also used previously, but I assumed some more properties of that fabric and just gone deep inside it to understand everything, and I was able to answer every question that was arising in front of scientists. All I need is to gather other peoples like me who are trying to create theories and who are working on their theories. We will not discuss our theories to each other because it is personal and we have to publish those theories someday. But we can clear our doubts and we can ask each other different questions that arises. So now my question is that can anyone explain me why light speed can't be changed in vacuum? Means, can someone explain me why with the change of the reference frame the light speed can never be changed? Means when we go far from the light source it's become red, when we go toward the light source it's become blue, but its speed does not change. How is that possible? I'm confused in that thing, that how it can be possible. Besides it, by using my fabric and my space time, I explained the expanding of the universe, and also by explaining the expanding of the universe, that how it is possible, I also told that actually that expanding is not the right conclusion of the Hubble's telescope redshift. Redshift has a different reason, and I explained that different reason, and because of it the expanding is proven false. And actually the universe is not expanding as per my fabric theory. It is contracting. Universe is contracting under the force of gravity. Gravity is contracting the universe, and with time the rate of contraction is increasing because the distance between the planets is also decreasing. And as the distance decrease between the planets, as the distance decrease between the planets, the gravity intense itself, and the velocities increases of the planets to move toward each other. And actually that is the reason of the redshift. And I know it sounds stupid, but what I understood by using the fabric that I am using, I understood that by using that fabric and by using its internal properties and some assumptions that I assumed about the fabric, I could explain that why universe is not expanding and it is contracting, and hence I have disproved the theory of Big Bang. But besides Big Bang, now scientists will think that the Big Chill is the starting of the universe, because if universe is contracting at accelerating rate, then they can think that in the initial state universe was apart from each other, and that state is known as the big chill. But it is not possible, because in big chill there is no energy, and whole universe is just freezed, and there is no energy, and or we can say there is a very huge lack of energy. So how that huge amount of energy came into that freezed universe to to start motion in it, and to intensify the gravity by decreasing the distance between the objects um, to create the galaxies and all celestial objects, etc. So as per my theory, I also reject the presence of any particle like graviton, and I accept that particle physics is right. There are force carrying mediator particles that carry force, and those mediator particles are only responsible to carry force in case of electromagnetic force, in case of strong force, and in case of weak nuclear force. So weak nuclear force, strong nuclear force, and electromagnetic force, all these three fundamental forces use intermediary particles to carry their force. Those particles work as force carriers, and besides it, the gravity, the fourth fundamental force, the gravity, the weakest one, don't use any intermediary particle. It uses the space curvature to explain its working. And I understood a lot about gravity because of this new representation of fabric, and I also understood the way the Einstein predicted the time is not correct, and I also understood that how gravity actually affects time. So please don't ask me all these things. First, I will create some mathematical background of this theory, and I am pretty sure that I have not to work hard, because this fabric is just a little bit different, or maybe a little bit more different than the general relativity's fabric. So I can do a little hard work to uh, just do some sort of changes in general relativity mathematics to create my theories mathematics. Then I will cross check the results as per my theories mathematical formulas. So the results of my theories mathematical formulas must be same as the general relativity's mathematical formulas. Then I will introduce it in front of world. So now my work is to just study the mathematics of general relativity, special relativity, and quantum mechanics, and then to combine them. But what is actually a problem in front of me is that in history a person came, and that person was a sant, and he used the ancient scriptures to create a theory named Vedic Rashmi theory, and he is challenging the modern science. He is challenging the relativity, the quantum mechanics, and he is saying that he can answer all the unsolved questions of our present modern theories. And exactly what he said he did. He proposed his theory in front of world, and today everyone all scientists are looking at his theories. Even NASA is looking at his theory, but his theory is really typical, and he is accepting the presence of God. So what is really the problem in front of me is that in the past time, many times these Vedic theories, not the Vedic theories, these Vedic texts contain many things in them, and those things many times was proved right. Many things they knew before our modern science was started. So before our modern science was started, many of the facts, correct facts about science was written in those scriptures. So in short, I'm saying that those scriptures has proved them right, and by using those scriptures, that sant person proposed a theory that is challenging the modern physics. And my problem is that that theory is saying that graviton exists, and what I am saying that graviton don't exist. The gravity is due to the space curvature, and the other three fundamental forces are due to intermediary force carrier particles. And yes, it is possible that those particles, those subatomic particles and those intermediary particles, all the subatomic particles are created by strings. So in that sense, all three are completely right. Who three? One is relativity of Einstein, second is particle theory, and third is the string theory. So all three theories combinedly explain the universe. It is possible, and it is also possible that just relativity and the particle physics will explain the whole universe. But as per my theory, I have explained the universe in two forms, in two theories. One is relativity, whose fabric I have changed, and I have explained that why universe is not expanding, and we are thinking it is expanding. And I explained why redshift is actually due to contracting of the universe, neither because of the expanding of the universe space fabric. Okay, I don't want to tell more about it. So I can explain many questions of modern science, like I can explain the how the particles got their masses, because that Sant who proposed Vedic Rashmi theory questioned a good question in front of modern science. He asked the Higgs boson. Maybe you all know about Higgs boson. Let me assume you know about it. It is a particle which give mass to all the subatomic particles. Actually, a question was common in front of scientists, that how these particles got their mass, from where this mass came. Then a theory came, and an experiment proposed, which resulted in the discovery which is responsible, that particle which is responsible to give mass to all the subatomic particles is Higgs boson, and that particle was discovered just in this 21st century. And that particle is assumed for responsible for the mass of all the subatomic particles. But the question that was asked to the modern science, the question was asked that how a particle like Higgs boson, whose mass is very much higher than the subatomic particles, the Higgs boson mass is around more than 100 times higher than proton. So how such a massive Higgs boson particle is responsible to giving mass to the smaller massive particles? Means we are saying a particle which is 100 times more massive is responsible for giving mass uh, to the less massive substances. So the question is, why there is no reason for the mass of this Higgs boson, how it got the mass, from where it got its mass. So that is the question, and I know the answer of this question. My fabric is able to answer this thing also. So besides it, I can explain that why subatomic world is different from the macro world. And the biggest question that is in front of me that I am unable to explain. Even the general relativity cannot explain that perfectly, that how light can have constant speeds in all reference frames. And I am not getting the answer of this question. And I myself think that I have just thought a very good connection between special relativity, general relativity, actually I can say relativity. I have discovered a good connection between relativity and quantum mechanics by this strange kind of fabric. And what I am unable to do by this fabric is that I am unable to explain that how subatomic world has possibilities rather than absolute results. In macro world where relativity works, our results are accurate. It doesn't matter that we are looking the results or we are not looking, every time the result would be same. But in quantum mechanics, in quantum theory, the results comes in the sense, in the data of possibilities. All the possible outcomes are possible, and particle can be anywhere, it can have any velocity, and we are not accurate about things in quantum world. So my fabric is unable to explain that why that is actually happening. And a thing that I want to tell you, which is common, and I want to tell you that the quantum mechanics predicts the presence of parallel timelines that maybe you have not noticed. Quantum mechanics experiment showed that particles are behaving in a very strange way. They are not absolute, they are probabilistic. Their nature is probabilistic. They work on probabilities. And what is the nice thing about parallel timelines is that parallel timelines means that at each instant universe splits in its all possibilities, and there are different timelines for each possibility, and each possibility at different timelines is working itself. So for example, when something is happening, and for example a coin is tossed, so there are two possibilities that can happen, either a tail or a head. So quantum mechanics says that both have equal probabilities to occur. And what parallel timelines say, that there are two universes, in one the coin is tail and in another coin is head. So from now when I will toss a coin, after this the after it the two universes, in one the coin will be result of toss, the coin toss result would be tail, and in another universe coin toss result would be head. So in one universe coins toss resulted in head, and in another it resulted in tail. So 50-50 chance, 1 by 2 1 by 2 chance it has. So it is the parallel timeline where there are different timelines in which universe divides, and quantum theory exactly says that thing. And I have a different theory that says that probability does not exist in real world. It means of saying that in a single timeline, saying that when there is no different timelines, and you are saying that universe is working on the probability as the quantum mechanics is saying, and quantum mechanics never in clear words said that it is assuming the presence of parallel timelines. So quantum mechanics, if not using the parallel timelines, and if then it's saying that the universe is working on probabilities, then I have a theory which can easily prove that quantum mechanics is wrong in It's this statement that there is no parallel timeline and still the possibilities exist in this universe of events at quantum level. Neither quantum nor macro level probabilities don't exist if there is no timelines, and if there is timelines then the quantum theory is working well. Now what is problem with my theory that I don't know anything about timelines, but I have to prove that they actually exist, because when we talk about multiverse means there are different universe besides ours. So okay, maybe or maybe not, maybe they are or maybe there is no other universe besides us. But quantum mechanics experiments showed that probability exists, and those experimental results are verified many times. Even some new experiment predicted that the consciousness, the human consciousness, is responsible for whatever happen in this universe. It means this universe exists because there are conscious beings that are observing it. When we stop observing the universe, it stop existing. So this all is directly or indirectly telling about the parallel timelines. And what this consciousness says that it says that we are creating the universe. When quantum mechanics says that consciousness is responsible for the outcomes of the universe, if there is no conscious being who is observing the universe, then universe just blow out and there is nothing. Because if there is universe, then there must be some conscious being who is looking it, and when no one is looking it, nothing is there. So this thinking is not actually parallel timeline. This thinking indirectly is saying that our brain is programming the computer, and our thinking is programming the computer, and the computer is the universe. In simple words, I am saying that this consciousness theory of quantum world saying that we, the conscious beings who can understand, we are the conscious beings, we humans are the conscious beings. So theory is saying we who are the conscious beings are creating the universe by our thinkings of mind. So our mind is creating the universe. And what I want to add, that our all mind collectively construct the universe, and this also the theory actually says. But I was just trying to point out this thing, that not only one person mind is creating the universe, all the minds are creating the universe togetherly. All the minds are creating the universe togetherly, and this universe don't exist without any conscious being. So by combining both the theories, that there are parallel timelines if quantum mechanics has to work, and the conscious being observes, only then universe exists. So this quantum strange phenomenon I'm unable to explain. What I actually did perfectly is on counting those things is that I explained gravity as the relativity was able to do. The relativity was unable to explain why the planets are moving toward the galaxy at the higher rate, and scientists thought that there is some dark matter which is creating extra gravity. So yes, I haven't used dark matter and still can explain why that is actually happening by my fabric, and I have done it. Then I have explained the reason why the mass is present in all the particles and how this mass came. I explained that by my fabric, and I explained that why that redshift was done, which was concluded that redshift is due to the expanding of the universe, and I am explaining how it is due to the contraction of the universe. And besides the acceleration of the expanding is besides the expanding of the universe is at an accelerating rate, I am saying that the contraction is at an accelerating rate, and one day all the planets would be too close to each other for that, and that would be a very dangerous situation for humanity, because at that time there would be a very huge amount of gravity, and actually the objects are coming toward each other, not going away to each other. Big bang is wrong, big chill is also wrong. So what is right? I don't know. Maybe Vedic Rashmi theory is right, that the universe was just in the state of the fundamental state of matter, which was known as prakriti, and then there was some motion in that prakriti due to external force, and then time start, and all this universe was created in the process. The process is explained very well in the book Ved Vigyan Alok. And if anyone has the book Ved Vigyan Alok, please send me the PDF of that book. Please create the PDF and send it to me, and upload it on Google. I'm searching it for a while, but I'm not getting that PDF. So I can explain why that redshift was done. I can explain why the universe, why the galaxies, in the galaxies the planets are moving so fastly toward the center of the galaxy, without using the dark matter, without using the dark energy. I can explain the expanding of the universe, which is wrong thing. Expanding is not happening actually. And I can also explain that how in the starting of the universe the gas particles, without having that much gravity, came together to create the sun, to create the stars. Because when we look at the modern physics theory of the creation of the universe, not the Vedic theory, I am talking about modern physics theory. So that modern physics theory has a question where it asks that when initially the atoms and the molecules were created, then they have not that much gravity. So how they can come close to each other to create that much gravity that is surrounding all the atoms and molecules come together to each other. Actually not molecules, just atoms, hydrogen atoms. At that time in the universe there were hydrogen atoms. So the theory is asking that hydrogen atom has very less mass, and it has not that much gravity that it can attract the other hydrogen atoms toward each other. So how they can come close to each other to create the star and to start the formation of stars, and after those stars the stars start attracting each other and start creating galaxies, blah 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 blah. And after it everything is clear. After the formation of the first of the some stars, or the first star, everything is clear, and we have no problem in explaining the universe evolution to this present state of universe. But the problem is that how those hydrogen atoms came close to each other. And again scientists say that it is due to the dark matter, that it has this dark matter had created a lot of gravity, and due to that gravity the all the objects came close to each other. All the hydrogen atoms came close to each other due to this dark gravity. Okay, again I'm saying, due to this dark gravity all the hydrogen atoms came close to each other to create the stars, and then the universe creation was started. But I can explain how it happened without the use of uh, dark matter. Okay, I can be wrong, I can be right, whatever. I mean, it is possible that I can be wrong. Wrong, why wrong? Because I'm not using dark matter and dark energy to explain the universe, and I'm not using Big Bang. Well, in case of Big Bang, I can say that it is impossible that the whole universe mass is presented in a very infinitely small radius of ball, a very small point, which is a very small point of infinitely small radius. In that point the whole universe mass cannot be adjusted, cannot be contracted even in the form of energy. So just like my channel, and just join it. We will discuss the things. You don't share your theories, I'll not share my theories. We will just talk, clear each other doubts. I have problem on light. Please explain why light has constant speed in this post. Please explain that why its speed don't change. And thanks to hear my whole audio.